Again?
Good evening. Welcome to this wonderful and new series of Shaurya Tales named Yoddha. ये सीरीज डेडिकेटेड है मातृभूमि के उन शूरवीरों के नाम जिन्होंने अपनी मातृभूमि के लिए, जिन्होंने अपने देश के लिए अपना सब कुछ न्यौछावर कर दिया. And if today I take the words from the great poet Rabindranath Tagore, he says, "Let us not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but to be fearless when facing them." I think this is the true essence of Yoddha. This is the true essence of what a warrior means. I am Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, a Kargil war veteran, and the first lady officer from the logistics wing of Indian Army to be part of battle zone in Operation Vijay. And today, in Shaurya Tales, it is my proud privilege to be speaking to a warrior who comes from our neighboring country, Bangladesh. Welcome, sir, Col Mozammel Hossain. Sir, I welcome you to this show.
Thank you, Captain Yashika Hatwal.
Sir. And
I am feeling really honored.
thank you, sir. I will introduce you to my audience so that we all can revel in your journey, sir. Col Mozammel Hossain joined Bangladesh Army in 1978. He got commissioned in the year December 1979 in the Corps of Artillery. He is a very accomplished soldier who has done 10 military courses in home and abroad. He did advanced gunnery at Fort Skill, Oklahoma, USA. He served for 4 years as Special Security Force Officer of the Elite Force, the Presidential Security Force, which is now SSF, that is Special Security Force. And Col Mozammel Hossain is the proud recipient of the Gallantry Award, Bir Protik, in the counter-insurgency operations in Bangladesh. I am feeling so honored, sir. I cannot even begin to tell you that this is the year when we celebrate Golden Jubilee of 1971. And our conversation today will be based around your journey during 1971. Well, of course, you were not an army back then. You were a young boy of 13 years old. And as we have spoken earlier before recording this program, the whole environment, the scene, the kind of tragedy that was taking place in Bangladesh that led to this chapter in Indian history, in Bangladesh history. It's a huge chapter when Eastern Pakistan became Bangladesh. Amar Shonar Bangla. Sir, today we want to listen from you the story of Bangladesh. So today I want to bring that 1971 war alive to my audience. I want to know how was it? Because, sir, till date we have heard the story from the veterans of Indian Army that how the war was fought. At least I have not spoken or heard anyone from Bangladesh who gives us the sights and sounds of this most important chapter of the making or the birth of a new nation. So, sir, I would like to begin with asking you that when 1971 happened, before the war, the stage was already set by Pakistan. Atrocities were being committed. We know Operation Searchlight. We know of the intellectuals massacre that selected, that looked for intellectuals, that looked for the proud citizens of Bangladesh and annihilated them. Sir, you have lost your loved ones in that massacre, and you have lived through those days. Today, I would like to ask you, sir, that how were those harrowing times? They are haunting the older generation of Bangladesh till date. And 50 years, sir, 50 years have gone by. Please tell us, sir, please tell us the nightmarish scenario in eastern Pakistan when this hellish, when this what do you say, the dance of demons was going on. If it is not of too much of a trouble for you to go back in your memory, sir, please share that moment with us, those days with us.
Thank you, Captain Yashika. As you have said about our great liberation war, I will cover a bit, some portion from 70. I was a student of class 7 at that time, grade 7. So that time, we used to see that repercussion, or rather unhappiness, were flourishing among the Bangladeshis. There used to be a lot of strikes, hartal, and to disobedience to the Pakistan government. So since then, we grew up like that, and there was some educational curriculum which were included in our school syllabus. One of those were Pakistan culture. So there we found that though we didn't understand, because our elder brothers, those who were leaders of the schools and colleges, used to come to our school, used to take out us from classes and to go for procession. We used to chant that Pakistan culture should not be there. Pakistan culture, Bondho Karo, Manina, like this. And thereby in December, probably election took place. And after that, you understand, there was the game going on, not to hand over the power to our great leader, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Still, I do remember the great speech, which is now recognized by UN also, one of the 10 great speeches of the world, the speech of 7th March, delivered by our great leader, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. In fact, that's instilled the fire among the Bengalis to go for liberation or independence or Shadhikar in Bangla, what we say. So since then, in all the places of East Pakistan, people were getting ready mentally that now the time has come that we should protest against the ruling Pakistani government, and we should take the power which is given by the mandate of the citizens of the country, so that Bangladesh or East Pakistan, in the ruling place, our Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman could go to rule the country, which they did not like. So that was the main point the Pakistani government was playing, that they should not hand over the power to the Bengalis. Here I would like to say you one thing, that since our childhood, we used to hear that Bengalis are not martial race. And out of total armed forces personnel, only 7% used to represent from Bangladesh. Now you understand how much were our participation in armed forces of Pakistan. So you have seen, or you have read, gone through, that we were politically, economically, we were oppressed. Most of the products used to be from eastern side of the Pakistan, which used to be exported, and large share of earned money used to be spent for the development of west wing of Pakistan, that is West Pakistan. So now I'd like to go to the Operation Searchlight. I grew up north of Dhaka, district called Col Mozammel, very well-known district, very historical district. So it is In pro-flight distance, it is less than 100 miles. So 26th morning, we came to know that something is going on in Dhaka. So as we were close by to capital Dhaka, so message reached to us. And on 27th, the people of Mymensingh, including police, civilians, they attacked the then EPR, East Pakistan Rifles wing headquarters. And there was a big clash took place between the Bengalis and the non-Bengalis, that EPR. They were non-Bengalis from the other part of the then Pakistan, West Pakistan. So still I do remember that in that attack, it was a huge clash, piercing clash, and subsequently the local people, that time the concept of Mukti Bahini did not yet form, but the rebellions formed. And they could neutralize all of them and took over the power of EPR headquarters. And since long, Pakistanis were trying to get hold of or to establish their foothold in Mymensingh, because this is the closest district to Dhaka, which can be reached by road. And another is Kumilla, which at that time, even in after independence, I've seen going to Kumilla, we need to cross 3 ferries. So it was a long distance to go, though pro-flight distance is about 90 kilometers. Now we can say it is 60 miles or like that. So they tried to establish their foothold to Mymensingh so that they can fan out to the northern side of Mymensingh, to the greater side, and other side of the Mymensingh, they will go subsequently. So they tried to approach Mymensingh through rail. They could not. Later on, Pakistanis could succeed to come Mymensingh 22nd April 71. They reached up to Tangail on 17th April. And 5 days, fierce battle took place between the rebellions or forming up Mukti Bahinis, I must say. But as they were equipped with highly sophisticated weapons, the rebellion people, they did not have that much of sophisticated weapon, 303 rifle. Even I myself should say that when we used to hear that Pakistanis are coming, paradrop may take place, we used to guard our university campus, taking out my father's gun, SBBL gun, just as a hunting gun. You cannot do anything with that. And those had pointed to rifle. We used to do the patrolling at night to secure our campus, that is doing the guard duties, paharadari, like that. So this is how it was going on. And one day when we heard that the Pakistanis are coming away, we ran away from our campus and took shelter close by one Thana, now it is called Upojila, Trishal. So we stayed over there, and subsequently things kept on developing. I was witnessing the horrific situation or the atrocities get going. So this is my life started during 71.
You were also mentioning about your uncle who was very was one of the, what do you say, in that intellectual massacre that took place. Your uncle was one of the brave men who laid down the life.
Right, you have rightly said. I thought that I will come to the latter part of it,
okay,
because that took place in 14 December, just 2 days before our liberation or independence.
Sir.
So I thought that I'll chronologically
Right,
go accordingly.
But sir, when you were growing up, I would like to understand what was going on in the mind of a 13-year-old boy who's growing up in this whole environment of uncertainty and brutal killings, and every day the news would be coming, like we read about it nowadays, that lakhs and lakhs of women were raped and children were killed and men and women alike were put through various atrocities. How was it to grow up in that environment?
It was really painful. I would like to share with you few of my experiences. where I also under fire thrice from the Pakistanis. So we came back to our campus, most probably at the end of April. When we came, we found that officers' quarters, professors' quarters, all were shelled with recoilless rifle, big holes, debris all along. We got inside our house. We found that everything looted, nothing is there. Because we ran away with the life, we could not take anything. We used to stay beside mighty river. Now no more is not mighty. Brahmaputra, it is called Old Brahmaputra. So our house was there. So when we came, we found that only the skeleton of the building is there. So this is the first shock that where we came in. You understand a teenager of his early adolescence, what he can understand. So there, my mother, father, they got settled because I have 4 sisters, elder to me. At that time, my 2 sisters were students of Dhaka University.
Okay.
And my eldest sister, she was again a political figure. She was member of Dhaka Central Students Union. So she knew the thing, what is going on. And my second eldest sister also, she was student of college at the time, Dhaka. So all of them were there with us. Even my few relatives came. We fled away with them. So when we came, we found that it is as if I'm seeing some buildings of Second World War, all were burned like that, destroyed, no food, nothing, just to survive. Because they say that if you don't come, then you will lose your job. So everyone turned up, few did not. This is how we started and started staying. So we did not have school at that time. We did not go.
Okay.
Later on, schools were operating or running on, were instructed to join the school. One day I was going to the school. We used to go by bus from university campus to Mansingh town. It's around 3 miles. So I do remember still the entry point of Agriculture University. There was now I understand, all military checkpost and other things. So we did not get bus. We were walking. So let's go to the school by walking. So when we reached to that checkpoint, we are stopped. Why? Because one of their 3 tons is not taking start. We are asked to push and get them started.
Oh my God.
So few of us, we young kids, I must say that we were kids at that time, aging 13, like that. We pushed it around a mile, but it couldn't start. Then I fell back to my home and I said to my dad, no more going to the school. So I told my father, now I understand what is a convoy and what is a chiton. So we used to think that chitons are called convoy.
Okay.
So I told my father that I was forced to push a convoy to get it started. I won't go anymore because whenever we'll be going, we'll be stopped and we'll be embarrassed, we'll be tortured like that. That is the bad feeling I had first physically.
Sir, when you were growing up and like you said that initially Mukti Bahini was not Mukti Bahini, it was the rebels or the. But growing up in that time, those Mukti Bahini cadres must be like heroes for you. They must be creating those examples of patriotism and daredevilry. Can you share with us 1 or 2 examples, if you remember, of some such, daredevil action of Mukti Bahini cadre, which truly celebrates the spirit of a warrior?
I will share with you 2-3 incidents.
Sir.
I would like to say this is about the, I tell you, Mansingh got liberated 10th December 71. In fact, Pakistan is fled away from Mansingh the night 9th. It around 12 or after midnight. So I would say that also about it, what happened at that time. So 10th morning, early morning, I came out from my house. I found one bearded man whom I used to see that every day in the evening, he used to come and sell on his basket. We say jhuri. I think you will understand jhuri, basket. to sell bread. That bakery made breads.
Okay.
Following day, I marked him a lot of days that he's roaming around the campus, this, that. Following day, I found that he is moving with his friend at his back with many more. I say, I know this guy. I used to see him. So he used to be here, used to gain information, collect information. So the first I saw the Mukti Bahini frontally. First. And I tell you one heroic, highest level of bravery. In my house, our house, there was a domestic helping aide whose name was Hassan. So when he came to our house, he was plus minus long back, before 71, 10, 12 like that. So he was so simple. He was across river Brahmaputra from a village people who has never seen town or like developed place. Though Mymensingh was not at all developed at that time. Just it was had some few buildings, university complex, and the road from Mymensingh town to going to university was a herringbone road.
Okay.
So it was not a pitched or RCC Pakka road. So my father, he had the hobby of gardening. He had kitchen garden, he had flower garden. So my father gave him some saplings to sow. That done, he sowed the sapling, keeping the roots upside. With the leaf, gave it down. So being a village boy, he was so simple. So later, back in 73, a magazine came out from Agriculture University, where the bravery actions of Hassan was cited like that. He joined the Mukti Bahini due to his size and stature. He used to come to the Agriculture University campus to collect information, and he developed the maps. He was caught by Pakistanis. Then he was caught by Pakistanis. I'm coming to the point. Then he was tortured mercilessly. Then he was asked, where are the other informations and where are your map copies and what the information you have passed? He said, I've kept it in the university laboratory, chemistry laboratory over there. He took them there and said that I'm bringing out. He opened the cupboard, took a poison, probably some acids, and gulped it and died instantly.
Oh my God.
This is the sacrifice, you understand, of common people, general people, those who took part. And I tell you, they were the backbones of our Mukti Bahinis, your force, because they have provided information. With those informations, Mukti Bahinis carried out successful raids, ambush, and other things.
But so why would he plant them upside down?
That his IQ level was like that. He was a very simple guy.
Okay, and yet he did all those amazing information collecting work.
That is the thing I'm relating with you. That boy who put the sapling upside down, keeping the roots up, he took part in Liberation War.
That really makes your head bow down to people, sir.
Very really, still we do remember him. Still, my elder sisters, they remember him more because they were more aged than me, so they know it more.
But listening from you, yeah, it's really giving me that kind of feeling that I have been there. I can picture Hassan in my eyes, that how he must be sitting there with his gardening tools and amazing story. Sir, aap kuch aur keh rahe the, you were telling another story.
So another, I would like to say about my cousin. You understand, Fupa?
Okay. Father's sister's
son.
Okay.
Husband is Fupa. His son.
Okay.
He is senior to me by age. In fact, tell you frankly, my father was one of the organizers of Liberation War in Agriculture University. His legacy is written in the book Shadinata Juddher Dolil. That is the 15-volume books. It is written in this part 13 about activities, because he was controller of exam at that time. So he had a strong room to protect the questions from the students. As you understand, that is the security matter of the controller of exams. So his strong room is to be used as armory of the university weapon, which used to be there. And with those weapons, University students, those used to be trained. So all those were there. So I will say, I don't know how much time we can get updating, because once you start talking, it prolongs.
Yes, but what I'm thinking is that a 13-year-old boy grew up seeing all this, grew up seeing Mukti Vahini cadres fighting for the nation, and father having a strong room with weaponry and university students being trained. It's some kind of time you have seen, sir.
Yes.
Sir, one question that really comes to my mind is that when we talk of 1971 war, and throughout this year we have been celebrating the Swarnim Varsh, the golden jubilee year of liberation of Bangladesh. My father, sir, has fought 1971 war, rather 62, 65, and 71 wars. So Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, all the three services took part in this huge war, which totally brought the subcontinent into a huge churning. But sir, aaj tak humne jo kahani suni, we have heard it from our own veterans. Today, I would like to hear from you, sir. How were those days when Indian Army was conducting operations? Those bombings by Indian Air Force, how was it? Have you seen it, sir? You have seen those places. Please tell us.
Sure, I would like to share with you. Before that, I would like to go back a bit. I would like to say about my cousin. He was probably 2-3 years senior to me. He went and crossed the border. Agartala went to Melaghar. Due to his size and age, Major Khaled Mosar did not want to take him over him to Mukti Bahini. He said, "No, I will join. I will join." This brother joined when Pakistanis, they had a fight at Narshindi. You know about Narshindi. There, the Pakistanis were in defensive position. Mukti Bahini, they attacked them in their defensive location across a river. And that brother, when the Pakistanis were there, he jumped to the river and picked up one Pakistani soldier on his back. At that time, he was shot. One bullet hit his hand here, it has pierced through. One through his stomach, did not get into the intestine, it has came out. Then he picked him up, that Pakistani soldier, he jumped to the river. He said to me that, then I realized that I'm hit because it's sparking now. But even he did not leave and brought him back. This is how he fought. Probably he was at that time 15, 16. And he went to Chindirganj power plant. He blown it off. It was a very highly secure place, power plant, you understand, at that time. We did not have that power resources, those which we had. The Pakistanis to guard them very well for their own need to get the supply. But now I'd like to say, as you say, as I was away from Dhaka, Maman-Singh, Pakistanis, they took over Maman-Singh under the command of Brigadier Abdul Qadir Khan. They established their brigade headquarters at the rest house of Maman-Singh Agricultural University. They used to be there. So here again, I would like to say about their atrocities, another thing. So at night, we used to hear, because from our house to rest house, it was hardly 500 meters or like that. At night, we used to hear the bullet firing sounds. So following day morning, we used to go to the river side, because the rest house was beside River Brahmaputra. So they made a concrete slab from the shore to the water, because water goes up and down. So they used to take the Bengalis, freedom fighters, whom they used to think. So after torching, they used to shoot him down over there. The dead body used to slide down and used to go to the river. That used to float and used to come nearby our house. We used to go there to see dead bodies. At times somewhere bayoneted. We used to see the back. He was bayoneted. Now, at least that time, as I was, I know about some weapons due to my father's gun. I was very much interested about weapons. So I understand that he's killed by bayoneting or bullet. And after a few hours, we used to go. We used to see that was really painful. The dead bodies eaten up by foxes, dogs. We used to feel bad. One of the incidents like this, we had to see like this. and we are under LMG fire of Pakistanis. Now we understand, because that time we found that few rounds are firing around us. We ran away, fled away. So those places, now I'd like to say about, I don't have that time to understand, identify infantry, Air Force, Navy, and as Bhavan Singh is away from sea, so question of Navy is not at all pertinent to me to know. But Bhavan Singh, the war broke on 3rd December. So as you know, within first 2 days, the airfields were unoperational. They couldn't fly. But on 7th, 8th or 9th December, we found that Indian sabers are coming, or nats, I cannot remember now. They used to coming from north to south. They used to come like this and sweeping like this, as if they're doing the air show, and one going like this, one going like this, both sides. And we, all the people of the campus, used to come out, used to clap. And they were so precision. University students' hostels were just 500 meters or 300 to 400 meters away from our campus. None of the rockets hit any other area other than the intended targets, those the hostels where the Pakistanis made their camps. So that was the mentality of the people at that time. When airstrike takes place, people go for shelter. We used to come out to see what is happening.
Because you were confident. You were confident that it's the target. Only the target is going to be hit, and
only the target is going to be destroyed, demolished, whatever you say, that it will not hit us.
I think that is a very huge. That is a very huge thing for to be said and to be experienced. That when firing is happening, then when aerial bombing is happening, people have confidence to come out and see, because they are confident of Indian Air Force.
That they are safe.
That they are safe.
You understand? Even in warfield, what Air Force plays havoc.
Yeah.
And there, innocent unarmed people coming to see the aircraft strafing.
Oh my God.
Now you understand the moral, how it was, and the hatred.
Yes.
I tell you, though in principles of war, we say a lot of principles, but population support is the biggest factor, I tell you.
Yes. Yes. I understand what you are saying, sir. 14th of December was the day when the bombing took place on the governor's house, and finally it led to the surrender. Sir, much has been said about surrender, 93,000 Pakistani soldiers, so we will not go into that. What I want to ask from you, sir, is how was the mood? What was happening in Bangladesh inside when Bangladesh was being born? What was the sight? What was the sound? What was the jubilation? And of course, what was the anger of Bangladeshi people against Pakistanis?
You understand that as the Pakistanis fled away from Bhavan Singh on the night of 9th and 10th December. Sure. Okay. I would like to say over here another thing. 10th morning, sure, we, the youngsters, ran to that rest house of university. And to tell you, from the bunkers, we rescued raped girls. Some were with clothes, some were not, tortured. And we recovered them, rescued them, and took them to our medical facilities, university hospitals. And that was the thing, because we are not the person to take some lead or give some decision making, not like this.
Then and you were like what, 13 years old boy? You were 13 years old boy. Yeah. So
even then we did this. We ran to their ammunition dump, which was located under construction faculty buildings. Just walls have come up, floor is with sand. They dumped over there ammunitions, mines, that, weapons. We used to collect weapons. We used to deposit. Who has deposited how many weapons? They used to take pride, loitering here and there. Father used to say, "Don't go out," because mine is a double-edged weapon, which I have seen my own eyes at that ammunition dump. One answer: he took a anti-personal mine. He did not understand. He was probably pricking it. Suddenly, I found that he has no hand, and all the veins are dangling on ground. Oh my God. I ran away from there. And I said one of the answers they took over. You know the answers. The security guard they use. They give my cycle. I will not come here anymore. So this is also I have seen. So as you said, another thing regarding sounds, probably 7 or 8 December, we found that now I can understand huge booming sounds coming. That is from across the river Brahmaputra. You know that Mami Singh, 1-1 communication zone, most probably under General Gill, they approached.
Sure.
Brigadier Clare was one of the fighters who being injured in Jamalpur. He did not go to the hospital. General Gill was evacuated to Tura or somewhere like that, where major other freedom fighters were getting treatment. So they came over here. Now we understand, studying the military history and other thing, that 1-1 communication zone came here. And probably we didn't see that mortaring was taking place from, because no shell landed in our place, in our university campus. So Pakistanis probably they were firing. And they were coming and they were getting inside. We had a duplex 2-story building. They used to getting up of our roof. And few we saw like this, probably they were getting ready to give a fighting in built-up area battle, you know, which is the most difficult one. A section can keep away 1 battalion if they are positioned like that.
Yeah.
So now I understand they were getting ready like that to give a battle with the approaching Indian army in a built-up area, because it was quite built-up area. I must say that in Mymensingh, that was the most built-up area. It was the Ekgat University campus. And other places were scattered buildings. There were not even buildings more than 2-story, but in Ekgat University, a 5-story building at that time. So they were getting ready like that. And on 9th December night, around 000 hours, we got a big sound of explosion. The window panes, they jerk like that with the music as if glasses are breaking down. So during the retreat, they blew off Brahmaputra bridge.
Oh.
Big 3 spans were blown off.
Oh my God.
So you understand the shock effect. You are an ordnance officer. You understand what the explosion does. It does the 2 things, shock wave and other thing, and blasting effect. So that shock wave cracked the whole university campus, and we were very close to the riverside and to the bridge side. That bridge was about a mile away from us, 2 kilometers. So we found that glass panes are breaking down, falling down. So that time also we didn't know, because while getting out to stop the approach of 1-1 communication zone or the Indian army, you understand they will get all the roadblocks, hindrance, so that easy approaches. So otherwise, every night we used to get hearing of killing, sounds, firing, this, that. So these were the days like this for us. And to tell you frankly again, as you said, now I understand. I heard from my sisters. My father, in 71, the one minister came. He was a Bangladeshi minister, to stay in town. So he came and approached, giving his lecture speech, so that everyone should come, join, cooperate the government, Pakistan government, to bring the normalcy. Then my father raised. He was one of the what should I say? He was a very politically conscious and rebellion type man. Back in 1952, as a young lecturer of Barishal BM College, he got out from the university college, so that Bangla is established as national language. So he was beaten, charged by police. He used to say till his death before that I get pain in my knees. Still, it is not going on because police, they charged me like that. So he said and stood up that we did not ask for independence to become a second-class citizen in this country. He said so. Later on, I used to see, you don't understand, my father used to come from the office. He used to go work, used to go to that rest house side. I came to know later from my eldest sister that my father is to be called by Field Intelligence Unit, which we call FIU, for interrogation. He used to come, being shattered. So all of where I don't understand, at that time didn't understand, but I used to, if I see that face of my mother and sisters, their faces are pale, they're tense, but my father's name was also there in the intellectual killing list, which was later revealed from the
Oh my God.
cabinet of Rao Farman Ali from the governor's house, because they did not get time in Manasseh. So, along with other professors of universities, they made the list. They made the list of killing of all the intellectuals throughout the country, but they did not get time. Then they started doing it mainly at Dhaka, where professors, teachers, journalists, physicians, they killed. So here, as you said about my maternal uncle, he was a bachelor. He was a very handsome guy, 6 feet tall or 6'2", fair complexion. So he used to help the freedom fighters. He used to take the sack of rice to one of our renowned poet, Sufia Kamal. He used to say, his nickname is Bachu. Bachu, you are coming like that. If you are caught by Pakistanis, they will not believe that you are a day laborer. Then he used to say, no, nothing will happen. I have no one. I will do. So he used to take the rations, rice, flowers, to give it to the Mukti. Money used to collect and used to go like this. And I would like to say here one more thing. My youngest maternal uncle, he is renowned neurosurgeon. He was the president of neurosurgery of the Oceania. So he used to treat the freedom fighters. Later on, it was revealed to the science. Then he said that if I stay here, I cannot treat freedom fighters. Let me get away from the country. So he crossed the border, and at that time he told that mama got martyred, Shahid. He's my second eldest maternal uncle. The younger brother said, Bachuda, come along with me. He said that no, if I go, then who will look after the freedom fighters? So on 14 December, during daylight at 1 p.m., he was picked up by al-Badrs. He was a house tutor of Motion Hall. He went to the pump house because students, those who were there, they were not getting water.
Okay.
Again, taking my uncle's cousin to identify him, took him there to show him, and they picked him up. Then we did not get, after, I wrote it probably. After 16 December, about a week later, we found his mutilated body in Mirpur killing ground. Mirpur, you don't know probably. Dhaka became independent 16 December. And Mirpur became independent on 31st January after 45 days. The Biharis, non-Bengalis, yes, they gave resistance like this.
Okay.
And there are many military officers died over there, soldiers died, civilians died. I don't know whether you know about Johir Raihan. Have you heard about Johir Raihan?
No, I have not, sir.
He is one of the renowned filmmakers, director.
Okay.
Younger brother of Shohidullah Kaisar, another filmmaker. He was abducted and taken away by, and heard that he's in Mirpur. So he came to find out his brother, and he was also killed. He made a lot of renowned movies in Bangladesh. Again, there is a Jibon Theke Neya, which was in fact in 70s. It was really a movie which was portraying about the Pakistani government's oppression and like that in a symbolic way.
Now, when I'm listening to you, sir, I'm just thinking that right from highly intellectual people till gardener like Hassan, everyone was fighting this battle for the independence and liberation for their own rights. So you have lived through the painful pangs. You have seen it firsthand, and we have been listening to the story firsthand. It's giving me goosebumps. And you have not only survived it, you have emerged victorious in your spirit and your strength. And your love for the nation has taken you to join Bangladesh Army. And you have been a gallantry award recipient. Sir, I want to know that when the war was being fought, you were just a little boy. And in your conversation, you have repeated the word many times that at that time you did not know. But so many things you understood when you did your courses and you studied in academy. Sir, I want to know one thing, that is any operation of 1971 war is part of the curriculum in military training academies of Bangladesh, so that the future generation of army officers can draw some lessons, tactics, or any other field craft, and that can survive. The lessons can survive the generations. Is there any chapter dedicated to 1971 war operations?
Thank you, Captain Yashika. Very nice question. I would like to inform you. So far, I remember two of the main battles, famous battles of 71, taught in Bangladesh Military Academy. One in 35 military academies of the world is taught, including IMA. It is Battle of Chiromani. The tank battle fought, big widest front. It was, and tell you frankly, Khulna fell on 17 December. And one after one tank attack waves were going. Later on, Brigadier Hayat surrendered there. And Major Manzoor, he said, took off his belt until unless the fall of Shiromani takes place, I will not wear my this belt, and he did it. And another one is Battle of Belunia Bulge.
Okay.
It is near Feni. I don't know whether you know, it is towards Chittagong. A midpoint from Kubilla to Chittagong, the Feni area. And a land like this, a bulge has gone inside India. And Pakistanis were there. There, 10 Bengal, the newly formed East Bengal Regiment. After that, during liberation time, no infantry battalions were raised. The 10 Bengal was the last. There, the officers of 10 Bengal and Dogra Regiment, 2 Dogra Regiment and others, they took part. There it is taught that what is the importance of reconnaissance, what is the importance of surprise, what is the essence of keeping reserve. So toward the Burl side, 4 companies attacked to the north and south, and they faced opposite to each other to make a cutoff point. And for the first day, with a railway trolley, 8 officers or Jawans, they were going with weapons. They ambushed them together with the weapons, and they fought gallantly. And renowned freedom fighters, Colonel Zafur Imam Bir Bikram, at that time probably second lieutenant or lieutenant Imamuzzam Bir Bikram, who was injured during 71, he fled away from Pakistani's captivity, from Kumilla garrison. Being hit, he fled away at night, crossed the border and joined liberation war. Such a, he's a general. He was my GOC also.
Okay, sir. See, lessons. These are the lessons that have stood the test of time, sir, and have been like a beacon of light for generations of officers to come. But so when we speak of generations, I think not only in country A or country B, I think everywhere across the globe, the pattern is that the present generation sometimes takes the freedom for granted, sir, because they have not fought for it, because they have not seen and lived through those harrowing times. They don't know the cost that the generations have paid for the freedom. What would you like to say? What would be your message, not only to the generations, young generation of Bangladesh, but to the global youth? What would be your message, sir?
In short, I'd like to say that first of all, you should be patriotic, because from there, in which field you go in your life, mind it, your country supports you most. First, your home. Home is, I said that it's a mini country. You have all the elements in the house. Like a country is a government, head, this, that, this wing, that wing, logistic wing, all whatnot. But the country, yes, probably don't expect that country should do something for you. What you can do for the country. Keep that thing in mind always. I must say that. And to tell you frankly, with this present generation, I must urge that love your country. If need be, try to join armed forces. That will give you a confidence, it will instill confidence in you. In phases, you may be dropped out, but each phase from where will gain some knowledge, experience, which may help in your life in coming days, in civil field, in your armed forces field, wherever it is.
Wonderful words, sir. Wonderful words. I think these words must be listened and understood in their true essence by everyone who is listening to it today. Sir, it's been my pleasure to host you in Yoddha series. And I can just wind up with the words that make up your mind that no matter what comes your way, no matter how difficult, no matter how unfair, you will do more than simply survive. You will thrive in spite of it if you have a warrior mindset. Thank you, sir. आप योद्धा हैं. You are a Yoddha who has lived through the times of great challenge. You have not just lived, you have emerged victorious. You are the warrior. You are the Yoddha. I salute you, sir. Bravo, Zulu. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Captain Yashika. I express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to invite me in your such a noble endeavor.
Thank you, sir.
To inspire and to pass the message and to communicate the surrounding happenings, including mainly focused on armed forces.
Sir.
So you did a splendid job. Your Yoddha series celebrating the Golden Jubilee of Liberation War of Bangladesh.
Sir.
I must convey thanks from all of my country people. You are doing a splendid job. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you very much, sir. And once again, heartiest congratulations on Golden Jubilee of Liberation of Bangladesh. Amar Shonar Bangla. Thank you, sir.
I must say another thing at the last.
Sir.
I would like to say it is from poet Kazi
Sir.
Nazrul Islam, the
Sir.
motto of Bangladesh Military Academy.
Sir.
Chiro unnoto mamushir, ever high is my head.
That is amazing, sir. That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I sign off now and wish you great innings ahead in life. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you.